Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we are back with another video. As you can see, we're doing a tier list. And we're doing it for the NFL teams. Now, I did get this idea from Tim the Tatman, but besides the point. And, let's just jump right in. I'm gonna try to fairly rate every team, so here we go. So the Tennessee Titans, they're a good team. Obviously they have Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. They lost Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith, but I still think they're a good team. I think they're middle, so like BC range, but I think they're a B. Yeah, that sounds good. The Dolphins. The Dolphins are in a strange situation where they're a good team, but they're a bad team at the same time. Their defense did great, and their offense was off and on. Tua had his good moments and his bad moments, but I'm kind of leaning towards B range. They're definitely not A. They're definitely not D. It's between C and B, and I think I'm gonna put them at B. Here's my team, the Cleveland Browns. Now, they have Nick Chubb, one of the best, if not the best running backs in the league. He's probably not the best, but one of the best in the league. And Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, OBJ, and they also just signed a new safety. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was the third-ranked safety last year. So they're definitely up there. I'm gonna have to put them in the A column, just because of how good they were last year and their potential. Oh yeah, now we have the Jaguars. Last year, I'd rank them at an F. But I think the decisions they've made by hiring Urban Meyer, and obviously they're gonna draft Trevor Lawrence. I'm an Ohio State fan, but they're gonna draft Trevor Lawrence. So with that, I think I'm gonna put them at D. D sounds like a pretty good place, just because they're not great, but they're not terrible. They're pretty bad. They're pretty bad, but if they fix all the problems that they need to fix, they can go at least 4-12, which is an F tier. Oh, the Lions. The Lions are definitely in real rebuild mode, and they have been for like the last 5 years. But they got rid of Matthew Stafford. Who knows if they're gonna re-sign Kenny Galladay? I don't know if they have or not by right now. I don't think they have. And free agency starts tomorrow. They have Jared Goff now, he's not a bad quarterback. I think people, they're too hard on him. He's not a terrible quarterback, but he's not good enough. So that's got to be F tier. They haven't been able to do anything, but I do think they have potential with the new head coach hiring and them being in rebuild mode and then acquiring picks. The Vikings. Now, honestly, the Vikings, I don't know what happened to them last year. It's probably just because of injuries and COVID is kind of what threw them off last year. But the year before, they did really good. They competed really, really good against the Packers. And honestly, I think they're a C tier. Not much has changed. So I think they're C. There's not really much to say about the Vikings. Oh gosh, the Buccaneers. If I were to do this last year, they'd be easily D or F tier. But now that they have Tom Brady and Gronkowski, that's really, they didn't get much besides that. They just weren't clicking with Jameis Winston, I guess, because their defense is really good. But they're obviously S tier. Any team with Tom Brady is automatically going to be S tier. The 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's an average quarterback at best. He's not a good quarterback, but he's not a bad one either. He's average. But the 49ers defense is unbelievable. I mean, you have Nick Bosa off the edge, who's an amazing player. Yeah. They just had a bad year with injuries. So, I honestly think they're A tier. Oh gosh, the Falcons. The team that you want to like, but it's hard to. They have a high pick, and who knows the next time they're going to have a high pick. So I think they should choose a quarterback because Zach Wilson probably won't be around. If Justin Fields is around, they need to pick Justin Fields. But Matt Ryan, their defense is their problem. They have a decent offense with Julio, Calvin. I'm not sure who the running back is. I know it was Todd Gurley. I don't think it will be this year, though. Pretty sure. I'd say they're D tier. They're not F tier. What are they? Yeah, they're probably F tier, but they're better than the Lions. Ravens. This one could go several ways, and like I said, I'm trying not to be biased, but it's kind of hard. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson. He's good. He's good as like a running quarterback, but he's not the best at throwing the ball. Like, he could work on that, but that's not what he's known for. So, let's see. They need wide receivers. If they can get wide receivers in the offseason or draft, which it's pretty good wide receiver class and quarterback. This draft class is pretty good. I think they're either low A or high B. I do think the Browns are better. Like I said, I'm trying not to be biased, but I do think the Browns are better. And they're better than the 49ers, though. Yeah, I'm happy with that right now. At the end, we'll probably go back and change some. The Chicago Bears. They are probably one of the... They're a good team, but they just can't find their quarterback. And as of now, they just signed Andy Dalton, so we'll see how that goes. But, so, with Andy Dalton, they franchise tagged Allen Robinson. They have David Montgomery. He's pretty good running back. And their defense, Khalil Mack, and I don't know. I can't even remember anyone else. But they're easily high C, low B. They're not A tier, but they're not... Ooh. I think they're going to be low C, or low B, rather. I think that's a good place to put them. The Cincinnati Bengals. I actually have a lot of faith for the Bengals this year. With Joe Burrow coming back, and they're probably going to address their offensive line, whether it's Penei Sewell in the draft or some other tackle. They'll probably address that. Well, they definitely will address it. They have AJ Green, and they have what's his name? T. Higgins, I'm pretty sure, is on the Bengals. Am I right? Right? T. Higgins. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, he's on the Bengals. So, and their defense, it's not the best, but I'd say that they rank with the Jaguars, just above the Jaguars, a D. But I think they could easily be a low C as well. Oh gosh, the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's coming back. Oh gosh. Their defense is just not good. Ezekiel Elliott's not good, really. I mean, especially in fantasy football. I had him for fantasy. He was terrible. I think they're either high F, low D. I'm gonna put them in low D, but their roster's good. It's just they're not clicking. I'll put them above the Bengals, I guess. Do I like that? No, below the Vikings. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Texans don't even have to talk about it. Very, very bottom. By far the worst team in the NFL. 2 years ago, they're a great team. Now, terrible. Worst team in the NFL. You don't even have to talk about it. The Colts. Carson Wentz and Frank Reich are back together. If they get T.Y. Hilton back, that'll be a good thing. Their defense, it's one of the top 5 defenses, I would say, easily. I'd say they're definitely high B, low A. I do think they're better than the Titans, just because their defense is more. It's just better, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. The Rams, Matthew Stafford. I like Matthew Stafford. I think they will do very good. I feel like they could even win the division, but I think they're right there. Their defense is good. Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year. So yeah, I'll put them above 49. I think they're better than the 49ers because their offense is better. The Chargers, Justin Herbert is a star quarterback. I'm pretty sure. I would say he's probably the best quarterback so far out of his draft class. But then again, Joe Burrow was injured. So, yeah, I'd say he's probably the best. He beat very, very many records for rookie. So, I think I'm going to put the Chargers at a C or high D. A low C, high D. I like the Chargers. I think they'll do good, so I'm going to put them at a low C. The Chiefs, S tier. I mean, it's 2 Super Bowl. It's a 2 Super Bowl right here. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's all you have to say. It's just like with Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, if he's on the team, it's good. Although we did see that Patrick Mahomes is human. We saw that in the Super Bowl. That's also because of his O-line. But, I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Their defense, not the best. Obviously not as good as the Bucks, but they're still S tier. Excuse me. The Saints. The only reason that they're below an A or even S is because of their cap room. Although they did get it down. But if Drew Brees was still playing, I'd put him at S tier. But they signed Taysom Hill to a 4-year, $140 or $160 million contract, which shows that they're probably going to stick with him over Jameis Winston. But they did sign Jameis Winston to a 1-year, $12 million, I'm pretty sure. $10 million, somewhere around there. I think they should start Jameis Winston over Taysom Hill. Their defense is... it's about average. But... So I'm either thinking about here. Nah, they're better than the Dolphins. Or about here. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. The Giants. Question is, are they going to stick with Danny Dimes? I think the answer is yes, they will. Right off the bat, I think I'm going to put them at low D. I don't think they're F tier. Just because they're not terrible. I mean, they contended for the NFC East, but they're not a good division, but it's still something. And but they're improving. They're improving gradually. So I think if they have Golden Tate, they have Pro Bowler Evan Ingram, who didn't deserve to be in the Pro Bowl, but that's besides the point. And yeah, I mean, if they can figure out their defense, and they'll be good. The Eagles, that's another team with the Falcons. It's a team that I want to like, but it's hard because of how just messed up everything is with the Eagles. Like, they got rid of Carson Wentz, which makes sense. It wasn't working there. But are they going to stick with Jalen Hurts, or are they going to try and find a new quarterback in this draft? I don't know. I don't know. And it's just not working. So I think they're better than the Lions, but worse than the Falcons on the F tier. They're just not that good. The Steelers, the undefeated team scare that turned out to be the worst playoff team besides the Washington football team, who played better than they did in the playoffs. But I think they re-signed Ben. I don't think they're gonna re-sign Juju, which I wouldn't either. But they re-signed Ben, which was iffy move. I probably would have taken a quarterback if I could in the class. Like, if Mac Jones is still around at their pick, it's probably who I would take if I were them. Their defense is top 3 defense easily. But they did lose Bud Dupree. I don't think he played that much though this year. I think he had an injury. I could be wrong. But the Steelers are probably an A tier. The question is, are they? I kind of want to put them on high B, or I guess right here. Oh, come on. Just because I think that they're declining. If they do good this year, they won't next year. But I don't think they're going to do very good this year. I just Ben Roethlisberger's old. As you can see, he couldn't throw the ball really downfield. So yeah, I think it's either I might even put him here. I don't know. I think I'll just put him here though. The Broncos. They're in a terrible position. I had hope for Drew Lock. Didn't work out. It just wasn't. I don't know. He's not the quarterback I thought he was going to be, and plus they didn't have a defense. And it's a mess. Now the Packers, they're S tier. The Packers are definitely S tier. I'm not leaving this to Super Bowl teams only because that'd be dumb. The Packers are definitely S tier, with Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones in the backfield, along with A.J. Dillon in the backfield. That backfield is unstoppable. Aaron Jones is the elusive back, while A.J. Dillon is the power back, replacing Jamal Williams most likely. But they have Devontae Adams, arguably the best wide receiver in all of football, and they also have decent second and third with Allen Lazard and MVS. They're not terrible, but I think this year they proved that they don't need wide receivers help as bad as people were thinking, which is good. But their defense, cornerback Kevin King is definitely not the answer. Kevin King was a terrible cornerback. He's the reason the Buccaneers scored like 2 or 3 of their touchdowns in the championship game. But the Packers are S tier. It's another one of those cases where it's Aaron Rodgers. The Panthers. I'd say the Panthers are either C or D, just because they have Teddy Bridgewater, who's just kind of their filler right now. They're definitely not gonna keep him and build around him. They're definitely gonna draft probably like Trey Lance is who I think is what most people are thinking. And if they do, I'd put them at a low C. Yeah, I think, and they have Christian McCaffrey, which could even push them above the Chargers, but he gets injured a lot, and that's the only problem. So I don't know, and their defense isn't. For me, like I didn't watch many Panthers games, but their defense didn't seem like it was that much of a problem for offenses. But yeah, I mean, C seems pretty good spot for the Panthers. The Raiders. I'd say the Raiders are a high C. They're definitely not B. They're average. They're a little below average, I guess, because they looked strong and they had their one good game against the Chiefs that was a fluke. But they can never stick to it through the whole season. And Derek Carr regressed throughout the season, and it seems like they're going to stick with him. Although I think Marcus Mariota was probably when he did play, he looked pretty good. That's for sure. But yeah, I think C tier, high C tier is probably a good spot. Yeah. The Washington football team, they're another D tier, I'd say. But I do think they're better. They're better than. I think they're top of the D tier because I think who did they just sign? They signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, who anywhere he goes, he's a great quarterback. So because of that, I think they'll do good. Alex Smith was good, don't get me wrong. He won, I think he was 5-1 when he started games. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably better. And their defense, Chase Young. Oh, I just blanked, but Chase Young is unstoppable. I can't think of anyone else. But yeah, a high D tier. And maybe next year they'll even be up here in this range, but high D tier for now. Cardinals, another team I had high hopes for this year that kind of let me down. I would say with Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake, D-Hop, J.J. Watt now, Buda Baker. I'd say they're A tier. I think pretty much all of the NFC West is A tier. I do think they're worse than the Niners though. But yeah, I mean, it's the Cardinals, A tier. Sounds pretty good. The Buffalo Bills, S tier. These are all, I know, NFL. These are the championship game teams. But they all deserve to be here. That's why they were in the championship game. With Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, they do need a new running back either. Probably like Najee Harris or someone like that in the draft would be good. But, or even in free agency. I don't know if there's many running backs in free agency, though. But they deserve to be there. Josh Allen proved he's there. And then, is it Trevon White? I think that's his name, right? Yeah. And, no, Tre'Davious White. That's what it is. But, yeah, they deserve to be there. Seahawks, they're A tier. A tier, right above the 49ers. I mean, there's not really much to say about it. They have Russell Wilson. They'll address the offensive line because he complained about it, so they're going to address it. And then their defense stepped up at the end of the year. And, I mean, it started, their offense was the best, and their defense sucked. And then by the end of the year, it was switched around. So, yeah, I mean, A tier is pretty good. And then you have the New York Jets. Yikes. I'd say high F tier. Right behind the Falcons, just because I do like Robert Saleh, but they're not even the best at being the worst. There's not much to say about it. They'll probably get either they'll stick with Sam Darnold and trade their second overall pick for a first and a high second, or 2 firsts, or who knows. But hey, maybe they'll get a quarterback and go with Justin Fields or Zach Wilson or someone. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about the Jets. The Patriots, they signed like 8 people yesterday, Monday. I don't know when this video is coming up, but Monday. And they went ham. So, and Bill Belichick is cash in his stimulus check in the NFL. But I think they're better than the Panthers. I do like Cam Newton's okay. He'll be better. Better than the Chargers. Better than the Cowboys. Better than the Vikings and better than the Raiders. I think they are top of C tier. And honestly, I think this is pretty good. I mean, I like it. One thing I might change is I think I might change the Steelers down to a C. No, I'll keep them there. Or yeah. I might put the Jets up here to bottom of D tier just because of their draft potential. I think that's kind of what I did with the Jaguars too. Oh yeah, I think these are pretty good predictions. Or not predictions. A pretty good tier list. Kind of based off how they did last year and how I think they are going to do this upcoming year. And in the draft and free agency and whatnot. I think this is a pretty good tier list. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And, if you want to make your own, go to tiermaker.com/create/NFL. I'll leave a link in the description. But as you know it, have a blessed day. Goodbye.